There is, of course, both in Rafah but across Gaza, just a devastating humanitarian situation taking place. There have been reports that famine is underway in parts of Gaza, particularly in the north, and that everyone in Gaza, about 2.2 million residents, face severe malnutrition or acute food shortages. So, given all of that, do you believe the U.S. should restore funding to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency based on a report that came out this week that concluded that Israel has not provided evidence that significant numbers of workers with that agency are tied to militant groups?
I do. I do believe the United States should restore funding to UNRWA. It's very important that the UN continue its other investigation, which remains ongoing, into whether or not up to 14 members of UNRWA participated in the horrific October 7th attacks on Israel. And if they did, they need to be held entirely accountable and punished accordingly. But UNRWA in Gaza is an organization of over 13,000 people that, as this most recent report indicated, have an essential role in providing humanitarian assistance to people who are on the verge of starvation, some who have starved to death in Gaza. And so, yes, the United States, in my view, should not have withheld so quickly all the assistance. But this report clearly indicates that the claims that have been made by Prime Minister Netanyahu and others that somehow UNRWA is a proxy or a front group for Hamas are just baseless. I mean, that is just a lie, as I've said before. So the United States should restore that funding because they're an essential organization for distributing humanitarian assistance in Gaza. And when I was in Rafah, as you mentioned, it was back in January. There are lots of things that need to change right now to make sure starving people get assistance. Making sure that UNRWA remains functional is one of them, but there are other things that need to be done right away to avoid things like the deaths of the World Central Kitchen workers, as well as 200 other aid workers who've been killed.